Forward onto this computer. All right. Very good. Hey, what's up, Facebook friends? Give me 1 second to triple check, not double, triple check that this dang thing is working. Apparently, Nick and Aaron, my marketing director says as of April 22nd, by the way, Facebook is no longer going to allow third-party streaming. Did you know that?
Ooh.
So you get your, I don't know,
The
Zooms and all
old
that
box
ready.
out, boxing
Yeah,
them out.
throwing some bows in the paint. So
Interesting.
take that, Zuckerberg. Anyways, my friends, very excited for this conversation, and that's exactly what it is, kind of like a fireside conversation. I have two giants with me. I still pinch myself when I am able to talk and get on Zooms like this, because I'll let them give a little bit of their background, but just to properly tee this up here, joining me today is obviously Nick Sarnicola. Many of you know him. He and I ran together in Visalis, but Nick is the founder of Renewable Real Estate. And then a big shout out to Aaron, who was also involved with Visalis back in the day, but he is now the president of Renewable Real Estate. Gentlemen, thank you so much for being here. Really awesome to have you.
Thank you. I feel like the giant thing was like a short joke because since you're 6'10"
Yeah,
and I'm a foot shorter, but thank you. I appreciate it, man. So excited to hear your questions and
yeah,
connect
man.
with your group. You have the best broker agents relationships and community I've seen in the industry.
I appreciate that. And I'm going to get every jab I can get in like that, Nick, because you give me so much crap for having an Android rather than an iPhone. So I'm just saying. Anyways, just a quick little prep here. So I go way back with Nick. I consider him a mentor, now honestly a friend. And as I've said before, he's the single greatest influence over my leadership development in my entrepreneurial career. We ran together previously with Visalis, slinging some milkshakes and health and fitness products. And he even delivered the keynote last year in Orlando at our large locker room conference that we had. And then I recently met Aaron. I was blown away at his professionalism, his knowledge, his passion for the solar industry and understanding the day-to-day grind both these gentlemen do of what real estate agents and broker owners experience. So quick history. Nick originally approached me about renewable real estate, and I'll be honest, like many, I was skeptical. I had no clue about anything solar related. In fact, all I knew was the opinions of other people, which is not hard to find, in Facebook groups. However, when Nick Sarnicola wants to talk, I listen. I say yes because of the impact he's had on me, and obviously same for Aaron. So it didn't matter what I thought. Okay. It didn't matter what I thought I knew, but I was open to listening and getting educated on solar from his perspective. And I am obviously grateful that I did. I'm now a master partner, proud to say, with Renewable Real Estate and see it as my responsibility to share. That's all we're doing here, guys, is sharing. We are here to educate, not sell you. And if you like it, cool. If not, that's cool too. If you have a strong opinion that isn't maybe favorable towards solar, that's fine. At the end of the day, though, here's the thing. It doesn't matter what you think. The homeowner is the one who gets to decide and have a choice on whether, and you have a choice on whether or not you're equipped to handle that conversation with a trusted team to refer them to, no different than having a home warranty rep, loan officer, or anyone else in your tool belt for all things real estate related. So, guys, if we can, I'm going to shut up because I'll talk forever if you let me. But if you wouldn't mind, a quick introduction, maybe tell us about yourselves, your background, and why you chose to lead the charge within the solar industry for real estate.
Sure. So, well, first of all, Jake, my opinion of solar was probably similar to everybody on the phone. Actually, for me, I was excited at first, and then I was really demotivated, and then I get excited again. I'll give you an example why. My journey is, I was an entrepreneur starting at 18, started the direct sales industry, bought the company that I was the top sales leader for, and created a company called Visalis, 15-year run, couple billion in sales, 19 countries, 3.6 million customers, full stop. When I sold the company, I said, all right, what do I want to be when I grow up? And 13, it's now 14, at the time, 13 of my former top producers, Aaron being one of them, went on to create 13 competing solar companies to each other. So I knew there had to be something there because these were 13 people, almost all of them, that I really liked, trusted, know. So obviously they knew something, right? And they were all calling me at different times for advice, questions, feedback. So I'm like, wow, this is really interesting. I really like this movement. So I decided to jump into solar, and immediately I fell out of love with its advertising mechanisms. Number one, I looked at this and said, are you telling me that 75% of this industry is door to door kids blowing up grandmas and yada yada yada, or it's misleading social media ads? I just came from the network marketing industry, which already has a bad rap, and I thought I was going, into something that was going to be easy and clean. And the solar sales process, I did not like at all. Number two is I did not like the finance terms of the past, but I had timed it perfectly, where the idea of a lean first position lean no longer existed right when I got into solar. So I didn't like solar for its first position liens. I didn't like where a homeowner had to pay down the entire loan before they could sell their house, that type of thing. But once I got into solar, all of those loans were changed. Now, not the past loans, but the loans that point moving forward. So if I'm a real estate agent right now out there, I'm like, what are you talking about? I just sold a deal last week and it was a train wreck with solar. Well, that loan was 5 years old. But if you had a loan that was 5 months old, you don't have those issues anymore. We'll circle back to that. So I was like, wait, I don't know if I like this industry. And then I started testing vertical partner relationships, roofing, mortgage, the pool restoration, clearly real estate, and insurance, accounting. And at the end of the day, the real estate agent tested the highest for a conversion on a referral. So I said, forget about solar industry. I just want to build a service company to the real estate world. And that's what renewable real estate is. It's a service to the real estate world to take care of their customers for solar. We're the bridge. We're the bridge connecting broker agent over to the clients, uniting these two industries, protecting the homeowner from all the BS out there, and then compensating both sides of the deal, compensating the agent, compensating the broker, etc. My first phone call, I'm gonna kick it to Aaron. My first phone call in my decision to go into solar was to this guy here, Aaron. Aaron has a decade in mortgage, so he understands the real estate agent relationship better than I ever will. He also has 5 years in selling solar, upwards of 100 million in solar sales leadership he has. So my first phone call is I wanted Aaron. When I called him, he was already, running as the number two, the largest installation company in the state of Michigan. So, us working together was not on the table. As time wore on, his timing popped up, my timing popped up. I quickly said, hey, I need this man to run this company. And I think it's a great transition, Aaron, to your story.
Awesome. Appreciate it. Yeah. As Nick said, decade in the mortgage business. And then this would have been, I'll skip ahead and just get right to the solar side. Late 2019, was bored in what I had going on. Started talking to somebody that said, hey, solar. I knew nothing about solar at this point. I hadn't even noticed that it was on any houses in Michigan. And as you know, you're from the mid, or, you're from Wisconsin. So my first reaction was, geez, it's awful cloudy in Michigan quite often. I don't know if solar is really the best idea to go for here in a career path. But obviously, as soon as I started talking about solar, I started noticing solar. I started doing a little bit of research. Obviously, technology, which is the biggest thing I talk to you about solar. We wouldn't be having these same conversations 10, 15 years ago, but technology, like everything in the world, has drastically changed what we can do, and solar being one of those things. We'll get more into this, but those panels don't need direct sunlight anymore. If any of us three here are at the beach in June and it's cloudy, you better still wear sunscreen or you're going to get fried. The rays are there, you just can't see the sun. But so I realized that yes, this is a viable option. Utility rates are on a drastic rise all across the country. The demand for power has never been higher ever in human history, and it's only growing exponentially based on the push for everything electric. Obviously, there's a huge demand for all these cars to go electric. Furnaces are going electric. Everything is going electric, but there simply is not enough power. And so when I realized either a homeowner can look out at all these solar fields that these utilities are putting in, whether you like it or not, and they can pay for the free sun that the utility company gets, or they can say, hey, for the first time ever, I can choose a second power source, which is my own, and I can get my own free sun and power my house. And I can tell the utility company, I don't care about your rising rates at 6 to 10% every single year. Wow, this is a viable option. So started right around the COVID era, which actually, unlike most businesses, was a great thing because in Michigan, they deemed that solar was electricity, so it was essential. And every last person we called to set an appointment with, it was like, oh my God, somebody can come over? Yeah, come on over. We'll talk to you. So we got to meet with a lot of people, educate a lot of people. Solar kind of took off in Michigan in that time frame. And then obviously the timing, fast forward to, as Nick said, to now the timing was right. And when I saw how Nick was putting together doing solar, I don't want to say it was mind blowing, but I just couldn't believe that nobody else had put this together once you saw it. It's one of those you see Facebook, you're like, man, how did I not think of putting Facebook together 20 years ago? You wish you'd have done it. This was one of those things that, man, all we had done was we had bought third-party ads. We had people knocking doors. That was the way to get solar business. And when I saw a more professional approach that, hey, yeah, I know how to talk to realtors and get their business and take care of their customers. This is amazing. And when I looked at the rate that a homeowner decides to do business when a realtor refers that homeowner versus the rates that we were seeing, it was a no-brainer. So that led us to where we are here today. And obviously there's also a lot of changes in the real estate world going on at the moment, as there is in solar. So the two coming together to kind of help each other out, the interest level and what we've seen from other brokers and agents around the country has gone tenfold.
Yeah, I want to get into that here in just a second, because I observed a interesting conversation y'all were having about recent NAR lawsuits and different things. So we're going to get into that a little bit and let you guys weigh in on your perspectives. Before we do that, if it's okay, tell the audience or remind me again what this is versus what this isn't. In other words, how is your approach different than maybe how somebody is programmed from the old days? Because I know when Nick first, one thing he said to me was, Jake, you can get behind this or you can't, but this is happening. And you showed me the data and all the support. And you said, eventually, if not already, you're paying for solar. It's just, you can pay for it on your own, or you're going to pay the utility company, but it's going in this direction. That was a real big wake up call for me. So maybe hit on again what this isn't. Is it door-to-door sales, what it's not, and how you guys approach things differently?
So I'm going to go to the reference you made. Those are two different questions there. So I'm going to handle both of them. You referenced that everybody's going solar, and I shared that with you. I don't think people get this.
Yeah.
So it depends what state you're in, the speed at what this is going to happen. But I'm in Florida, and Florida, it can be a little bit more aggressive in their opinions, and like, oh, I'll never do solar. And they make it all about politics. Oh, never do solar. And I'm like, okay, well, I get it. In fact, you and I may even have the same political view. That doesn't make you educated, because solar now has nothing to do with politics anymore. Every power company in the country is building solar farms. Your utility is building solar farms. They're buying up land and they're building solar farms. So what's going to happen is they're going to then replace their power plants with these panels. But you're not going to know, because they're going to pipe it through the exact same crusty, dusty ass grid that they've been piping it through for 40, 50 years into your house. So you're going to pay for solar. Oh, you're all going solar. You're just going to pay a premium. You're going to pay for dusty, crusty grid. You're going to pay for thousands of employees to try to fix dusty, crusty grid, where you could have just put some panels on your own roof and got the same sun that you're going to get piped to your house for a premium. You're going to get had sent directly to your panels. I'm just super logical. I'm like, for politics aside, California, this is versus Florida aside, all that crap. aside. Whether you believe in this or that, don't matter. You're going to buy solar and you're going to buy it at a premium. So that makes it now a logic based conversation, not an emotion based conversation. And that's for me was like, I was like, okay, it's a race against the power companies. They're about to have, I'm on a rant. Let me finish the thought. I'll kick
I
it.
love it, man. Keep going.
This will be the biggest economic, capitalistic, not coup. It's not a coup, but like, just the biggest capitalistic gotcha of all time. I'm a capitalist, so I can't do anything but tip my hat. Like, good one, tip my hat, right? Because I love capitalism. I love entrepreneurship. And if the power companies can get you to pay quadruple over the long term for something they got for free, I mean, well done, capitalists. But as a capitalist who also loves to change industries and disrupt, that's called an entrepreneur. Disruption. A resident being able to go solar as an individual is disruption to the power companies. It's disrupting a monopoly, right? And that should be a just huge green flag to you if you're also a capitalist, if you're also a disruptor, or you're in real estate, so you like to make money and sell. This is a chance for you to get a piece of that disruption. Now, Aaron, why don't you speak to the what we are and what we're not? Because that was the second question about kind of the, are we door to door? Are we this? What do we ask from agents? What's our positioning?
Yeah, so I think probably as agents have seen, because they're probably hearing it from their clients, right? Hey, I got 10 calls this week. I saw 50 ads on Facebook. 3 people have showed up at my door this week. Because whether you like it or not, many solar companies are watching every time that house gets listed as sold, every time that deed hits the county courthouse, somebody is knocking their door immediately saying, hey, your electric bill is about to be $350 a month. We can get it to you for $250. And they'll kick them off the porch 10 times, but eventually that bill keeps going up and keeps going up. And somebody's going to catch them on a day where they opened that electric bill and it was their highest bill of the year. And they knocked on the door and they said, geez, maybe I should finally listen to this guy. And they're this 20 or 20. Now we've all been 20 or 21-year-old punk kids, right? In entrepreneurship, but some 20 or 21-year-old punk kid's going to put your customer into something that isn't maybe all the way true. They don't understand. They haven't set the right expectations. They haven't built the system properly for them. And when that system's up and running and they're getting double billed, they're going to be pissed off.
Yeah. And Aaron,
and then that's going to reciprocate down to, I was just going to say that's going to lead to solar's a bad thing. The difference being is in our model is you're going to deal with a professional that's been in the mortgage business, the title business, the insurance business, a professional rep that didn't necessarily come from solar. They were a lead professional in their industry, and we taught them solar. And we know our number one job isn't necessarily your client. Our job is you. We want to take care of the agent, and by doing so, we'll take care of the customer, because that's validating the agent. And when that sale, when that product or when that solar system goes well, they're thanking the agent. But I think most agents around the country are very, very hesitant. Here's my little baby customer that if I hand this off to you and it doesn't go well, it is going to be a reflection on me, and I'm not going to get that next listing, that next buy sell deal. So what we are not is we are not door knockers. We are not spam artists. We are not going to blow your customer up. What we are is we've taken professionals from multiple industries. We're going to treat your customer just like you would on a high professional level. And in the meantime, you're going to get us paid for basically making that introduction.
So thank you for that, Aaron. Let's connect the dots. I mean, and then we'll get into the education side. So for somebody watching this who might still be thinking like, okay, so what is renewable? What does this work? If I'm a real estate agent or a broker, could you maybe connect the dots in a Reader's Digest version of what is this?
We are a platform that connects real estate agents and brokers to the best solar installers nationwide. All you have to do is sign up for free, submit a client, We take the client on our side. You'll have a dedicated executive account manager, somebody that's probably from the insurance or mortgage world. So somebody that's used to dealing in white collar sales. They're going to take your clients, they're going to present to them solar. And then when the deal closes and installs, we're going to do a commission split. The agent is going to get 50% of the gross commission. So if it's a $7,000 commission, actually, I'll use a real one. $6,040 San Antonio, Texas was one of the last checks I cut. It was $3,020 to the agent, $3,020 to our sales guy who did the whole deal. And then we also did a carve out for the broker. So I cut a check to the broker, a check to the agent, and a check to our guy who sold the deal. All the real estate agent did was hand it off.
Pretty simple. I mean, it's pretty simple. Great summary, by the way. So how then does Renewable Real Estate support the future of the real estate agents and their ability to stay top of mind, value driven, frankly, the center of the transaction, and relevant with their spheres of influences? What's some of the service, the support you provide real estate agents and brokers?
Aaron, why don't you speak to maybe the marketing portal and what we do at activation and what you're doing with our EAMs and how to help the agents with post activation?
Yep. So somebody says, yeah, I'm very interested in this, and I'm sure no matter whether they like it or not, their customers or clients are asking them about solar. It's a high curiosity topic for a homeowner right now. But somebody goes to the portal, which is renewable.real estate. They enroll. It's simply putting in your phone number. It's free. Then you go into your back office, and we have everything in there under the marketing tab. So hey, I don't know what to text. I don't know what to post on Facebook. I don't know what to blog. I don't know what to email. There are multiple things there. You copy and paste. So, hey, I'm going to make a post every 3 days. Copy, paste. What text do I send? Copy, paste. They're all curiosity-based text to send out to your customer, along with information videos. If someone says, well, I want to know a little bit about solar before I just approach my clients. There's a training tab in there. They can watch every video. They can know everything they could ever want to know about solar. So we've tried to make it as absolutely simple as possible so that it doesn't take away from what your main source of income is or what you mainly want to focus on. But in just a short few minutes a day, you can create a bunch of curiosity to connect your client to one of our account managers. So when they log in, they'll see at the top, it'll be a picture of their executive account manager, his phone number, everything that they would need about that executive account manager. And then in the activation call that account manager would have with the agent, they would establish, hey, I don't really want to know nothing other than I handed it off, you took care of them, and the deal went through. Or, hey, I'd like to be informed every week. I'd like to be informed every day. They'll set up how that wants to happen, and we will keep tabs on that customer to the agent as often or not as often as they would prefer.
What I love about it, yeah, I love the marketing, the scripts, and different things that are back there. Of course, the videos to educate. But I believe
Text
you guys
and post, baby. Text and post, baby.
that you
Jeez, it's crazy
exactly.
to me. You don't have to call anyone. Just text and post.
Yeah.
Well,
Right. You're not
they
door
call it-
knocking. You don't have to be calling. Yeah, exactly, Nick. And that's a big point if we can kind of go this direction for a second, which is you and I, Nick, early on, were talking about how this helps keep them relevant, because if the average person isn't moving for every, 7 to 9
Yeah.
years or whatever, you better freaking find something else to talk about instead of the old scripts of, hey, who do you know looking to buy, sell, invest in real estate? Click.
I think you should just send them a Christmas card with you and your whole family in matching pajamas. I think that'll get you their new deal.
There you go. There you go.
That's super unique. Nobody does it.
Mhm.
And I'm certain somebody's like, dude, you got to list my house the way you put your wiener dog in the same outfit. Classic. It's
There you go.
people want value.
Yeah.
So all of our marketing is value add. You could send out an email that talks about the rising cost of power, copy paste. And all it states is like, hey, all of my clients are bitching about the rising cost of power. I think we may have found a solution. Maybe not. Maybe we did. Are you having the same issue?
Yep.
Yes, I am. Tell me more. Connect them to us. We take it the rest of the way. So value added marketing, and you should be doing this not just for solar, but value added marketing for every category that you can, that's relevant to your homeowner of the past. And if you can get that past, if you can stay relevant in that past homeowner's mind, continue to bring them value, they're going to bring you referrals and they're going to relist with you when it's time to move.
Speaking of relevancy, let's segue into give people a glimpse maybe of some of the conversation that was taking place a couple of weeks ago with the master partner call regarding NAR lawsuits and different things and the opportunity actually that this presents right now for those willing to take advantage of it.
You know what? We're not the experts on this topic, and you guys are. Like you're the experts, Jake, and your agents who are watching this and the brokers. But I can deduce really quickly to say, here's one thing we can all agree on. No matter how great, if you're the best, you're the absolute best, and you're not going to see any commission compression. What we can agree on is commissions aren't going up. They're only going to be the same or down. There is no up, right? So knowing that they're going to be the same or down, we're going to have to figure out how to maximize ancillary services. Solar is an ancillary service. So let's look at your options here. We can refer them to AT&T Wi-Fi. I mean, there's a good 20 bucks in your pocket. You could refer them to maybe a new roof if they are, but you need them to be in the market for a roof at that moment. That's actually probably a decent referral. You could probably make 1,000 or 2,000 to do that. Comcast cable, they're out there. Maybe that's an extra 50 bucks for you. Like, I mean, look at the service options for you. You can refer them to an alarm system. There's another 100 bucks. Or you could refer them to solar. Solar is the second or third most expensive purchase in a person's life. There's their house, their car, then their solar. Now, if they get solar plus batteries and they don't really value vehicles, it might be their house, solar, then their car, right? So if that's the case, obviously there's going to be, you know, some opportunity financially for money to go around. And there's an opportunity. Solar companies right now don't value the real estate world the way we do. We're putting the real estate world as number one, top of pile. They're kind of like, oh, here, I'll give you $1,000 kickback. Yeah, I'll give you, or they're trying to do a multi-level marketing approach, which I have nothing wrong with that. I love multi-level marketing. I was in it for 25 years. My last company was. But you don't want a solar MLM infiltrating your office, specifically if you are LPT, EXP, you're already in an MLM model, flipping your MLM upside down, and now your last real estate guy in is now your top of the pile solar guy. You don't want to mess with that. So we have positioned ourselves as the best source for a real estate company specifically to make money and the ancillary services of solar, which is the most upside for a referral right now out there today. You know, let us help you make an extra 20, 25% this year.
Well, your slogan or one of your catchphrases is do the work once and get paid twice, right? I mean, like you said, Nick, commissions are not likely going up, right? There's a lot of compression at the brokerage level. Agents are demanding more higher splits, if a split at all, if not 100% transaction fee-based brokerage. And it's all the way, obviously, through working with the homeowners and negotiating that with NAR lawsuit news articles and stuff like that everywhere. So what about you, Aaron?
Yeah, you know, what I'm going to say is too is even though it's as Nick said, it's the most expensive ancillary service your customer is going to have, but it's the only one that they're going to spend the money anyway. So that customer, whether they go solar or not, they are going to spend that money. It's just going to go to their power company for nothing. And now they're making an investment into their home, which is as an agent you would want. And now I feel like things have actually flipped from where it hurt the sale before on a solar deal because of the way the loan was done. But now let's use hypotheticals. If somebody has a $300 power bill now, and let's just say for the sake of argument that their solar and battery payment was the same, $300. Well, why would I just swap one for the other? Well, I'm going to tell you. A, you know that the power bill every single year is going up without fail. My solar payment's not going up. So every single year I'm making money on my investment. But when I go to sell my home in 5 or 10 years, the current homeowner has already paid 5 or 10 years of that investment. Everything is 100% transferable to that new homeowner. So, hey, you only have X amount left on this solar transaction, A. B, guess what? In 5 or 10 years, that $300 utility payment is now $400 or $450 for the same exact power. and now my payment's still only $300 on the solar. So somebody's looking at, or maybe someone pays cash or someone's already paid it off. So when the new client buyer is out looking at two properties, one has solar, one doesn't, usually one of the first questions is, what are the average utilities of the property? And this one is half as much. It's going to help your sale. I'm also, a lot of realtors in this area that they're now advertising, hey, this is a smart home. This is a smart home. It's got solar, it's got battery. You can power things when your power goes out. There's a lot of angles on it now to actually help the sale versus the old model of all we thought about was there's this $40,000 loan that's absolutely going to screw up my deal.
Can we talk about that a little bit more, maybe? Because there's, again, those areas of misconception, the financing specifically, whichever one of you or both of you want to take that, maybe.
I'll go. I'm not kicking back to you, Aaron. Old financing, solar, old financing, money down, lien, non-transferable. Those are facts. So if I'm a real estate agent and my homeowner says, hey, should I go solar? You're like, money down, non-transferable, first lien position, and do you really want to spend $45,000 with that 22-year-old kid? That's not a no. That's a emphatic hell no. But that's old information. 2.5 years ago, and here people that like depth. Well, why? Why did it change? Oh, data. There was enough default data that the bank said, oh, okay, this is safe. It's so safe, in fact, that we can make it no money down, no liens, except there's a lien on the panels, a fixture filing. Now that's the lien. If you don't pay your bill, we're coming to collect our panels like a repo. And then number 3 is it's transferable, one piece of paper, $200 or something like that. So that is not just different. It's the complete opposite of what every loan officer, agent, broker, what your reality was. Now, here's where it gets gray. I mentioned this earlier. If you do a deal next week and the solar loan is 6 years old, it's still going to jack up your deal. And you're then going to say, I still hate solar. But you don't hate solar. You hate old solar financing. That's what you hate because it's messing up your deal. But if that loan is 2 years old, 2.5 years old, then you're good. By the way, I need an asterisk here. Not all solar banks do the transferability and the no lien. If you went to your credit union, I don't know what they're going to do, right? Your credit union is different. There's certain solar-based banks that are like the big seven in our world that are all no money down, transferable, yada, yada, yada. Because, the credit default rate was so low, it was, they kind of ripped the guardrails off. Aaron, anything to add there, buddy? Or
no, I think you hammered them all.
Could you speak? So, Aaron, you deal with a lot of the install and that side of things historically. So, again, I go to certain Facebook groups and it's 50-50. Some people love it, some people hate it, but a lot of the hate does stem from these misconceptions. And so, what about the install itself? Those agents and folks who are maybe concerned about this of like, oh, well, a storm blows through and rips the panels off, or I've got a leaky roof. Could you just talk about some of the construction misconceptions or concerns and what you would say to that?
Yeah, and I think some of that is over the course, solar has changed a lot on that side as well. But a lot of it's you get what you pay for. I've seen a lot of these 2 men in a truck solar install guys that, you go up and you compete against, like, well, they're X amount cheaper. Well, yeah, they also got that taillight warranty because as soon as the taillights are gone, you're never going to hear from them again. If I'm getting into something that's going to be a large investment for my home, I want it to be taken care of and I want it to last. So what we've done is in the install network we've created, all of these installers have been vetted through one of the 2 largest banks in the country for solar. So they've looked at their financials. They've been in business for X amount of time. They audit their work. They inspect it. They know that these guys are doing a good job. So there is a workmanship warranty on the roof. There is a 25-year warranty on the products. Now, I will say in most states, I can't say for everything, and with most insurance companies, as soon as that panel attaches to the roof, it's covered under your homeowner's insurance, because none of the warranties are going to cover, quote, acts of God. So if there was a tornado or a tree fell on the house or whatever the case may be, the homeowner's insurance would pick that up because now it's attached and part of the property. But the rest of it, there's
Hey, Aaron,
production.
have you ever drove through a Cat 5 hurricane post hurricane Cat 5 area immediately afterwards where there's solar?
I have not.
So this was one of the best reinforcers for me, and because when you're into a new industry, you're buying the good. You're like, okay, but you don't know until you see things. And I remember a lot of people were asking about what's going to happen in a hurricane. It's going to fly off, and certain people were like, no, it's going to reinforce because you're putting thousands of screws or nails and stuff into that roof. In order for it to go, the whole roof has to go. So my kids and I volunteered in Fort Myers last October, maybe 2 months afterwards. There's a couple things that I saw. Anyone with solar, their roof was perfectly intact. Some houses, solar on this side, nothing on this side, all the shingles missing, some of the roof missing, solar like nothing ever happened. And then it got to some really deep areas of devastation. The worst one I saw was half the house was missing. The other half, there was one panel peeled up all the way. It didn't blow away, but it was peeled all the way up. And the other panel stayed. And the whole roof was on that side where the house was there. So I was looking at this going, holy shit, it's actually protecting the house the way certain people said it would. But I didn't. It was one of those things I had to see it to believe it.
And some of that's on how it's installed. You're connecting truss to truss. So you're adding almost reinforcement, you're connecting truss to truss across the roof with the way that it's installed, that you are making that roof stronger.
It sounds to me like anything when solar came on scene, and it's been around for a long time, but I think it's grown in popularity. We could all agree in recent years. It's just like most anything. You have the opportunists who first enter the market, right? And they go about it the wrong way. You got the taillight warranty folks driving around and just door knocking left and right. And now this is when the professionals come in, right? And that's why I choose to align myself with the Nicks and Aarons of the world, is because these guys, you spend any amount of time with them, they know what the freak they're talking about, and they care deeply about, the satisfaction of all the way from the homeowner to how they treat their real estate agents and brokers and everybody involved. It's got the vibe. And those of you that know me know I'm pretty picky. I sometimes borderline snobby of who I do or don't associate with, kidding, of course, to a degree, but these guys are the real deal. And shameless plug, if you are looking and want some more information or to enroll, there's a short video. I bought a domain. It's sunny-money.com, and you can go there, watch a short video, even get registered and all of that for free. There's no no tripwires of any kind there. And go check it out. Get yourself educated. See what's back there and poke around, and go from there. But anything else?
When they do enroll, brother, just so you guys know, if I threw your domain in the chat box. All you guys that see me typing, it's not that I'm not paying attention. I'm in the live on Jake's page here. So if you have any questions, hit us for sure. But I threw your domain in there, and what's going to happen is when you enroll, you're going to get contacted from an executive account manager. This is not a telemarketer from the Philippines. This is a professional that you would normally see in your chamber of commerce, who used to be the insurance guy, who's now our executive account manager dealing with our brokers and agents. So that's the quality of people. These are multiple six-figure a year income earners. Some of them might earn more than you in your career and might be able to help you with presenting, closing, prospecting. These are going to be your equals for sure. And that's who we've hired to deal with you and with your clients once it comes time. So enroll, 15-minute activation, and you're off and running. I'll let Aaron speak to his closing thoughts, and I'll have a closing thought as well, Jake, if that's what your last question was.
Yeah, the only last question before any closing thoughts for me. If I like to understand processes, it gives me confidence that I know what the hell this even is before I stick my neck on the line for it. So maybe if it's okay, just a quick recap from, hey, a person is interested, a homeowner is interested. Then they go to say, I'm committed, I want this. Now the install's getting done, and anything that goes on for ongoing support from there. Just maybe encompass, I'm interested, now I've committed to this, I bought it, it's installing, and any ongoing support from there.
You want me to take that?
Yep.
So obviously, you make an introduction with a customer. The first thing that we're going to need ever is a power bill. And on everybody's power bill, it's going to show a 12-month usage of what they've used. So in our design tool, we're going to put in every single month what they use and how much power they use. So a lot of times you get, well, what's a rough? There is no rough, there is no average, because it's totally, you might have a couple in a 3,000 square foot house, and you might have a family of 4 in a 1,500 square foot house using way more than the couple in the 3. There's no average. It is solely based on usage. We design a system that's catered to that individual person, how much of their bill they want to offset, etc. They say, yes, I want to do it. The next step is some of that. They do the transaction. They agree to it. Here we go. Someone's going to go out to their home and do what's called a site survey. They're actually going to measure the roof, make sure the panels are going to fit. They're going to look at their electrical. It's usually an electrician. He's going to look and get everything for install that we need. He's also going to take certain photos because we're going to need to get an engineered site plan of that house with the panels on it. We take that, we're going to submit that to their utility company with what we're looking to do, along with getting a building and electrical permit. All those things come together. We schedule the installation. We get the inspections. We get the full approval from the utility company to turn on that system. And then once we get that, we turn on the system, and that system fires, and they're off and running. Now, in that too, just like we will be able to, they'll get an app, or on their computer, they can log in. They can monitor that system just like we do. So they can see exactly what that system's producing, how much power they're giving back to the utility. Everything that you'd ever want to see is they can monitor it just like we do. And any service issues, the systems are pretty self-sufficient. As long as it rains every so often, it's going to clean that panel. There's not really any maintenance. I could go in depth about the system. I'm not going to bore everybody, but we're going to get to monitor it. They're going to get to monitor it. Anything that goes wrong, you got a 25-year warranty. And that is also direct through the manufacturer. So God forbid anybody went out of business. The odds are Enphase and companies we work with are not. They would send somebody else from that local area out to fix their whatever is wrong with their system. But obviously, like everything, the monitoring has changed drastically in the last 5 years. I mean, those systems are self-sufficient, but the second something's wrong, somebody's notified, it's getting fixed, we're taking care of it. And then it's just follow-up service from there. But the systems are pretty self-sufficient after that point.
Gotcha.
What he said.
Well, yeah. Pretty comprehensive. Yes. Great answer. So
that was the fastest version I could give. Yeah.
No, I know. And we can't cover all. I mean, it's impossible. And that's the point, guys. We just want to introduce this. This is what's happening, like it or not. There's an amazing company, amazing people behind that company that you have some FaceTime with right now. So as Nick said, if you have questions, I realize not everybody at 9:43 a.m. Central Time can watch this live. We get a lot of people who watch the replays. I'm recording it. We're going to disperse this out to our database and so forth. But ask questions, right? There's nuanced questions, and reach out to me. I'll get you connected with Aaron, Nick, or whoever on the team that makes most sense, probably one of the ESMs. And we'll get you taken care of. And it's not in every state. So if you're wondering, gosh, is this in my state? That's a great question that we can also answer offline as well. Unless Nick, correct me if anything I stated there is wrong.
No, you're good. You're good.
Okay. So let's land this plane like you were saying. What any closing thoughts regarding, hey, if somebody's still on the fence or they're just not quite sure about this thing, you guys take it wherever you want to take it. But closing
I want to talk to the agents as a homeowner for a second.
No.
Just agent as a homeowner. So agent, you own your own home, and if you don't, let's pretend you do. And you've had solar for a couple decades plus batteries. So anytime there was a blackout, it didn't affect you. Anytime there's a brownout, it didn't affect you. Anytime there's a hurricane, it didn't affect you. Anytime the grid went down, it didn't affect you. In fact, your system's paid off, so you actually don't have any bill. There's no bill because your system's paid off. And you've been doing this for, I don't know, a couple decades. And then one day somebody knocks on your door and says, hey, we're going to start this thing called the power company. We're going to build billions of dollars worth of infrastructure that's going to take thousands and thousands of people to fix and refix and refix and refix. We're going to cause a significant amount of the pollution with carbon dioxide pollution. And every year your bill's going to go up 5 to 10%, escalated every single year. You can't do anything about it. You can't change it. You can't choose it. We decide if we want to shut your power off with a brownout. If there's a blackout, sorry, nothing you can do. You got no control. All we have all the control, and your bill's going to go up forever. Would you like to sign up with us? You would like 300, the movie 300. You would chest kick me into the pit. Like you know, this is solar. Yeah, you would blast me into the pit. So why in the hell is this so complicated for people to just go, oh, wait, if I had solar plus 2 batteries, I would never, ever, 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 ever deal with a power company ever. For the first time ever in your life, you have that opportunity. So don't go pay the power company escalating costs for them to get the sun and bottle up the sun and send it to you at the highest cost they can, and they're going to get it for free. That's my closing thoughts. And don't let your client do it either. Nothing more frustrating than a real estate agent who knows what's best for their clients without giving them the decision. Let them decide. They're smart people.
Man, I haven't heard you say that before. You flipped it. That's pretty good, Nick. Slick. See,
I stole that from Aaron before he could say it. Go ahead, Aaron.
Good.
What's your closing thoughts?
Oh yeah, I'm all out now. Thanks. Jeez.
Typical
No,
Sarnicola over here.
Yeah. No, I hate to be the guy that, you know, we've said it multiple times that whether we like it or not, whether we agree with it, whether we want it ourselves, whatever the case may be, it is happening. So as somebody that my responsibility is to take care of my homeowner, that is my client. My job is to be a consultant, is to give them the best advice. Why wouldn't I, as Nick said, give them the option? Let them choose, because if you don't, they're going to listen to that 20-year-old kid that knocks on their door eventually. I promise they're going to, because the pain of that power bill is going to outweigh them wanting to talk to him. Every month it's going up. Every month it's going up. Every month it's going up. Finally, it's okay, let's talk. And then when they get it and it makes sense, they're like, geez, yeah, why didn't I do this a year ago? Because almost everybody I've ever talked to in solar, and I'll say, hey, if I'd have came to you 3 years ago, you wish you'd have done it then. Because you'd say, right? So at least give your client the opportunity to look at it from a professional. And also, not only are you going to get paid for that, but it's going to be another way for you to get in touch with your client. Even if they decide not to do solar, we're going to do nothing but promote you. So you're going to get in front of your client from us, whether they decide to do solar or not. It's another huge touch point. You've at least offered them information to get educated, and then they can make the decision that they feel is best for them. But again, we are going that way. It is what it is, like it or not. You might as well get paid for it. You might as well get in front of your client again. You might as well offer them the service. And last thing I'll leave is what I said earlier. It's the only service you can offer them that they are going to spend the money anyway. You're just killing the inflation of that money going up every year.
Very well said. Nick, I don't mean to open up another can, but maybe just one last thing real quick. I heard, you said this months ago, man, and just briefly say how the government will incentivize what they want to see more of, whether it's
you know
having
what's funny?
children.
I was sitting back thinking of all the things we missed in the conversation.
Yeah.
One of them was taxes. One of them was how they're going to defend against the incoming. We didn't talk anything about electric vehicles, but
Right.
let's leave that one out for now. That's a long one. Let's talk taxes for a moment.
Okay.
Yes, there's a 30% federal income tax credit on everything that touches your house for solar related energy efficiencies, which means solar, battery, and a pool pump, whatever you want to do for efficiencies. Plus, in some states, there's state credits. Plus, in some counties, they do little things. It's always different, okay? However, we have an exclusive contract with the largest solar tax accounting and attorney firm in the country. They represent 55,000+ clients. Let me give you, this is I think the biggest reason I'm going the real estate route with what we do, because I believe real estate agents can communicate this a little bit. You don't have to communicate all of it. And you guys are intelligent, right? So you can process this quickly. There's a designation in by the IRS called makers. M-A-C-R-S. M-A-C-R-S. The easiest way for salespeople to know what Makers is, remember when you bought that G-Wagon, you called it farm equipment? That's Makers. Remember when you bought that Escalade and you called it farm equipment? That's Makers. You said, I'm going to depreciate this over 100% over 5 years. Let's not talk about how gray that is that you called your G-Wagon farm equipment, but you did. Well, here's another designation. The IRS has stated, not us, not tax attorneys, not the solar world, the IRS has stated that when a power company enters into a solar agreement called net metering, they enter that agreement. So when you go solar, the IRS says that is a commercial agreement. The IRS says that's a commercial agreement. So really intelligent tax attorneys go, then that's Makers. Because in order for that to be a commercial agreement, you cannot have that agreement without the panels. The panels are what power the agreement. So you can 100% depreciate underneath Makers 100% of the cost of going solar and the batteries, inverters, etc. Now, I'm not a tax accountant. I'm not a tax attorney. You need to, some things may apply, asterisk, asterisk, asterisk. You get the idea. But our tax attorneys, it's a service that we give. We do the deal, we give the service. These guys prepare the solar part of the taxes for your clients' accountants. Why is this important? I get this all the time. Oh, I'm just going to ask my accountant. Okay, well, that's like going to your family doctor to ask them about a micro health issue you're having. You know what they're going to do? They're going to refer you to a specialist because the tax code is 10 miles high. Your accountant, your accountant doesn't know shit about a renewable tax opportunity or write-offs. They don't know anything about it because it's not their specialty, okay? We have accountants and attorneys that specialize in all things renewables and solar. We give the service to the client, and if your client is 1099 or K1, business owner, 1099, they can depreciate that whole thing over 5 years. Back to you.
I'm glad I asked because that's some really important information. And what I love about this, you guys, this whole conversation and your approach to it, Nick, you said it earlier, Aaron, same with you, is the logical approach. When you talk to people, experts in their craft that know what they're doing, know what they're talking about, it changes the whole narrative. And instead of stirring the pot in, again, I'm referencing a Facebook group where, misery loves company and everybody just hops on the bandwagon. The logical, non-emotional approach here, it starts to make a whole lot of sense, and you can get behind it or you can't, but it makes me think of the book Crossing the Chasm. You, like anything, you always have the early adopters and then the early majority and the late majority and the laggards. So you can be as skeptical as you want and stick in the late majority or even the laggards, but this is happening and we're offering you an opportunity to at least explore it. If it makes sense or not, let your homeowners decide. Our job as real estate pros is to have a trusted team that we align with so that when a homeowner or somebody in our sphere of influence approaches us, we can be the resource for all things homeownership, not just the point of sale on a buyer and sell transaction. So I have a ton of respect and for what y'all do. I'm glad to be a part of it. And I look forward to, furthering this and getting a little bit more vocal. I've been quiet about it, and it's time to rip the Band-Aid off. And I just want the people that follow me and hopefully trust me as well to get to know you guys and what's out there as well. So
Thank you, brother.
Appreciate it.
yeah,
Appreciate you.
appreciate it, guys. Talk soon. You guys have any questions, drop it in the chat. We'll get you connected with Nick and Aaron and the team if we can answer any of those questions. sunny-money.com. We'll see you.